All right, the LA Chargers linked to a mega move. If you're new to the channel, we are Detroit Lions fans, but this channel gives you an outsider's look into your team because it's all about the Chargers. Started it because of Jim Harbaugh. We're here in Michigan, and we just kept it going. And so let me know in the comments, tacos or nachos? Because initially you're like, well, tacos, duh. I'm like, well, I don't know. A little loaded nachos? Tacos all day. And that's a stupid question. I don't even know why I asked it because tacos are so good. Okay. Mega move. Here it is. This one makes so much sense. I love it. And so we all know about this DK Metcalf trade. It's like, nah, get that out of here. We'll talk about why that doesn't work. And it's like, whatever. Here's the one. Horn. J.C. Horn, corner, Carolina Panthers. Now we're talking. This is the type of move that can be made this offseason that really is awesome. Asante Samuel Jr. is a free agent, probably do something there. But Fulton, Eli Apple, you drafted a couple guys, fifth rounders that really panned out nicely, but it does feel like kind of missing, depending on Asante Samuel Jr., that real shutdown dude. His current value compared to Metcalf makes him more tradable. Horn carries only a $12.4 million cap. Perfect. And if you look at it, it's like, okay, here's the problem. You've got Patrick Mahomes. Bo Nix is like, okay, got to kind of watch what's happening there. And then the next thing is with the Raiders. It's like, okay, the Raiders aren't going to suck anymore. They just don't. So we got to figure that out. And so you can get a day 2 pick and get a shutdown corner, guy still young. I love that one. And I think this is the first time you're starting to see real rumors that are like, okay, that's a mega move that changes everything. Because if you look at potential landing spots for free agents, and you just look, and I want to flip over to offense for a second, and I'll get to why I'm doing this here in just a second. But you look at PFF; they've got T. Higgins no longer being projected to go to the Chargers. Chris Godwin no longer to the Chargers. Amari Cooper to the Chargers. So here you go. You got Amari Cooper, and you've also got. Let me get down to it. Hold on, DeAndre Hopkins. So you can relatively cheap, and I know you're not getting a premier player, but you're upgrading in the wide receiver position with a decent player, and you don't have to use any draft capital to do it. DK Metcalf's too inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get. So it's like, get that out of here. If I'm going to use draft capital, let's go get somebody that's hard to find. As you can see, it's hard to find these corners, safeties, secondary players. So that is exactly what you want to do. Go get corners because, again, we've talked about this on this channel. As you look at who comes into league, it's just more better wide receivers come into league than corners do. So for every 5 good receivers, you've got 3 corners, and that's just extrapolated over the last few years. And now you're sitting there, they're in high demand corners. So I love that one, and I think it's something that the Chargers could definitely look at. And speaking of that, I want to look at this real quick. One of the things that you've got, we made a big deal about last year, and now we've got to make a big deal about it again, is there are a ton of blue chip Michigan players coming into this draft. Why is this interesting? Well, because you've got, for example, in this one, Josiah Stewart. Now, you've got a really loaded team. They had no quarterback play. They didn't end up finishing the season, or they finished the season well, but they didn't end up having like a super great season and kind of went under the radar. But they've got loaded on talent, so that means Jim Harbaugh can pick up those blue chip players, knows them very well. Jim Harbaugh knows this team very well. He's just removed. He recruited all these guys. And then secondly, he knows kind of the back end draft of these guys as well. So Josiah Stewart is just a stud. Yeah. He's good. Okay. So we've kind of forgotten that. That was the big thing last year. It was like, oh, Jim Harbaugh, he knows those guys. Who's he going to draft? And he did pick up a few late in the draft. Same thing this year. Not only does he know the Michigan players, but he knows the college landscape still. He's not out of. He hasn't been out of it for that long. So he recruited the Michigan players, and he played against, coached against, watched film against the other guys in the Big Ten. It's just an advantage. 100% in drafting is going to go really well. And Ortiz is already good at drafting, so I think that's great. The other one that I wanted to show you was this here for the Chargers, just to show as you start, the next thing will be free agency. Best free agent signing last year was Ford. The worst was Bud Dupree. Look at this. $2 million. Kidding me? Fifth highest amongst defensive tackles was his PFF grade. Love it. That's the type of stuff you're looking for. Nobody knew him very well last free agent cycle. And you're like, what is this? Awesome. On the flip side, Bud Dupree. Man, we were so excited about him. I was. Bud Dupree was like, man. I thought he was so good. But he's done. That's okay. Dupree played 570 snaps this season and earned a 46.5 overall grade. Remember, he had some mistakes and just like, oh my gosh, buddy, come on, don't do that stuff. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on trading for a premier corner. And when I say premier corner with him, I'm projecting a little bit because he's been with the bad franchise. So you're kind of like wondering about it a little bit. How good can he be? And is he lost a step? He's been injured a little bit. So it's like, what are you? But I still think, man, here's a 3rd round pick. Here's a 4th and a 4th next year or something to get a really good corner. They're hard to come by. So I think you have to do it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe. If you watched all the way to this point of the video, just eclipsed 10,000 subs on a Lions guy talking about the Chargers, but it's just kind of been fun. It's been fun to be positive about this because, again, I think, when we're fans of our team, we can just be like, oh, we're down. It's like, or, see the negatives pretty easily. But it's like, no, I'm just telling you from an outsider's perspective, the Chargers are in great shape, especially knowing Jim Harbaugh. I don't know him personally, but knowing how he does things and how he's going to turn things around, it's really, you got to be excited. I mean, he is, I don't know. I don't get it. He just knows football, knows how to do it, and I love it. So let me know your thoughts, and we'll see all of you on the next one.